This here's from People. They're springing up all these articles on this new book, Hollywood Vampires, on the Depp trial. Johnny Depp trial juror speaks out in new book, Women in Jury were tougher on Amber Heard than the men. Well, I think that's kind of good. You know why? Because when someone from your gender acts bad, it makes you all look bad. So when men do bad things against women, a lot of us men really hate it because it makes the good ones look bad. So that makes sense. But that's my silly little opinion. Let's see what we got. A juror from Johnny and Amber's Virginia trial speaks out in a new book about the legal saga, shedding light on the jury's decision-making process. In a new book, Hollywood Vampires, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, and the Celebrity Exploitation Machine, former juror Tom Nugent, a 53-year-old retired defense contractor, offers insight on what happened in the deliberation room. According to the book, Nugent claimed the women jurors were tougher on Amber than the men. The 7-person jury consisted of 5 men and 2 women. In the book, Nugent said the jury felt there were so many inconsistencies and so many holes in Heard's story it was hard for us to believe any of it. We didn't believe a lot of what she was saying. They're all actors, they can put on a different face if you pay them enough, he added. Well, I gotta disagree there. Not all actors are equal, but alright, I get your drift. For me, I enjoyed Depp's testimony. He was pretty entertaining going back and forth with Heard's lawyers. We were sitting there for 8 hours a day, and having him on the stand was a breath of fresh air. Yeah, I bet you enjoyed it, but you know what? A lot of us enjoyed it from home. And when I say a lot, I mean like over 1 billion. Per the book, Nugent said the majority of the jury didn't know who Heard was prior to the trial. To Nugent, the trial showed that not every case of abuse is from the man, which is true, because men just take it and generally don't fight back. I agree, in a lot of cases in the past, it probably was the man, but you can't just jump to that conclusion. For someone like Johnny Depp, he can weather the storm, he's got money, fame, connections, but an ordinary guy like me could lose his job and livelihood. And Johnny lost a lot, by the way. I mean, he didn't lose everything. Johnny has too much to lose everything, but he lost a lot. There's just no way of coming back from that. Before people start to put a scarlet letter on you, you have to let them have their day in court, or at least allow them to defend themselves without any prejudged ideas. Common sense, we've been saying here and on other channels for 5 years now. And they quote Heard, "I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband." Instead of just saying he had sway and influence, why don't you mention what you're talking about as far as the evidence? And they quote Depp saying, "The jury gave me back my life. I hope that my quest to have the truth be told will have helped others, men or women, who found themselves in my situation, and that those supporting them never give up. I also hope the position will now return to innocent until proven guilty, both within the courts and the media," which has happened to an extent. It definitely changed the air, that's for sure. There's no 180, there's still stuff out there. Manson didn't exactly get it right in the end. Legally, I mean, he's doing great right now, but legally, seems like Baldoni's still having a tough time. But I will admit, there's definitely been some kind of a shift, thanks to Johnny. And they quote one more male juror who doesn't give his name. "A lot of the jury felt what Depp was saying at the time, at the end of the day, was more believable. He just seemed a little more real in terms of how he was responding to questions. His emotional state was very stable throughout," which is true. Ultimately, what I think it was truthful was that they were both abusive to each other. I don't think that makes either of them right or wrong. But to rise to the level of what she was claiming, there wasn't enough or any evidence that really supported what she was saying. Alright, I've said this a few times in the channel. If Amber was hitting Johnny and really going at him, you don't just stand there and take it like a statue. You're going to push back. You're going to hit her arm away. Something might have happened where there was contact. Johnny didn't just stand there like a punching bag and take it until he fell. He was going to defend himself. That's probably where some things might have made contact and hit her and things like that. That's the realistic thing. That's what people say. I think is mutual abuse. More like, she caught some crossfire or something when he had to get her off of him or simply block some punches or something like that. So, in that light, I could see how some people would take that as mutual abuse. But I digress, we've been down that road. Anyway, interesting to hear directly from jurors. Anyway, pretty balanced from people. I do notice, however, there are some writers there who have been on Johnny's side. It's just that 90% of them haven't. This particular guy here, Benjamin Van Hoos, I remember his name, he has written positive at people about Johnny. So anyway, make of that what you will. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you consider it and don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.